Good morning. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Figured I would get live today, make some good stuff. I'm cleaning the machine at the moment. Any of you that have a Glowforge, you might take some notes. Or if you're interested in having one, this is just one of those glorious things about maintenance. Getting the longevity out of the machine, that way it'll last hopefully as long as it can, or as long as it was designed to. How's everybody today? Bella Rain, J-Dub, Denise, Emily, good morning, good morning. Kat, what's up? Good morning. Jenny, good morning. So I figured I would start out on this, and as soon as I'm done with this, I can go over to the other machines and show you what we're doing over there. But this is one of those things that we do, or I do, that requires attention. So just wanted to take the time and show you what it was. Good morning, Stacy. So cleaning this machine just to ensure that fire, the way that the machine performs. So if, like I said, if you have any laser machine, you can do a weekly or even a daily clean of the machine. That way it performs at top performance. Because if not, you take the chance of it doing bad cuts, taking longer to cut through material, things like that. So if you keep it running as it should, then your cuts should go accordingly, depending on what material that you're using. But I do a clean like this to make sure that the crumb tray is clean, that the laser machine parts, as far as your lens, your mirrors. So just to kind of show you what's going in. So you've got cameras that are located on the bottom. These have to be cleaned also. This little fan here, when this is operational, it blows air or removes air to the back portion of this. There's a fan under here as well that pulls your smoke away from the laser as it's doing a cut. You also have a lens here. You take this top piece off. This is also a reflective mirror which goes down in and then shoots here also at the laser at the same time. So this little module, this is what they call the head unit. Vatters, what's up? I have an X tool. Q-tips, alcohol are the best. Absolutely. So making sure all of these working, moving components is key. CJ Customs, good morning. I just take a chance to make sure that I wipe down everything, that all of the lens are clean, and the debris can move as the machine is operational. That works best for us. I would recommend, like I said, cleaning this at least a minimum of one time per week. If you use it often, maybe do it twice a week. That way this machine is fully functional. You have less replacements you have to do as far as burns. So as far as the cycle when the machine is operational and burning or engraving or cutting a piece of material, it allows this to operate as needed instead of having to do multiple cuts to burn through. What's up, Kelly? T-Bacon. So again, making sure that this is clean is key. Plus you take care of your stuff. And when you go to put this piece back in, make sure that it's facing the right direction. Slide it there. And that goes in like such. Sure there's nothing in there. Push it all the way back. And now we're going to put the crumb tray back in. Make sure that's seated as it should. Now what I use is to clean the glass. You can use alcohol. I use this glass cleaner. It does have ammonia-free, streak-free that's in it. That way my glass, my cameras, things like that don't have any blemishes or blurs or anything like that. Amy, what's up? Good morning. And also, I use this for a degreaser. So any material that has smoke, so if you're burning wood or engraving wood, it does leave a residue. And so if you watch this, turn it on. This is a industrial degreaser. So you just spray it and then you wipe it down. And that black soot, that residue that comes from the wood, it tends to get like a greasy after effect, and that can sometimes go on to the moving parts, and over time it'll actually cake up and cause the parts to underperform. So making sure all of this stuff can stay as clean and operational, and you can see how nasty and disgusting that'll get. And then pretty much you're done. Clean up after yourself, make sure everything is back to where it goes. Make sure this has nothing in the way of the path. This axis, it goes multi-directional. Place it all the way back. Then close. Then turn it on. And cut your external fan on. Yep, the soot residue left over. Again, the ZEP, and this can be gotten at Lowe's. This is probably one of the best that I've used. And I've had this over a year, so I clean this, like I said, at least a minimum of 1 time per week. And you can use it on other stuff that you might have around the house. So I don't spray it directly on my hands. So if you do anything that you're gonna have it close to your hands, then maybe wear some gloves. So what it's doing now is it's doing the autofocus. That way it has key points of the cut area and then it'll go back to 0, and then we'll start a cut. But I also will be doing some printing of vinyl, but I wanted to get this started first. So now that it's back at the original area, I have a piece of acrylic, and we are going to do a placement of that. Set it into motion, make sure everything is aligned and ready to go. So what I'll do is I'll go to the machine and we will set that up to cut the acrylic templates for the swirl. So I'll be right back. Okay, so what I've got is the acrylic swirl templates. They're about to cut, so you'll get to see some of that. I'll move the camera in just a second. So when it's ready to go, this indicator light here, we just press and watch the magic happen. Good morning, good morning. Let me adjust the camera and let you see. Yep, it's a glow forge. What it's doing now is it's not engraving, but it's scoring. get that reflection there out of your way. Give you a different view. You get to see what happens, the process. I think it's pretty neat, especially if it's your first time seeing something like this. Well, thank you, Lisa. It's a pretty unique process, setting up the machine to do all the cuts. Once you have your template, if it's going to be something that you use over and over, you save the settings in the machine. That way you don't have to repeat the process. You just put it into place in your workspace that you want it to be, and then you set it, and it should be ready after that. Just to give you a different perspective here. And to show homage to Ellie from Yanelli's Crafty Co., we put that at the bottom of the template. So it's doing the initial cut now through the acrylic. Yep, you can use this to do cuts in wood. You can engrave in wood. So what we're using now is acrylic. This is 1/16 of an inch. It has masking on both sides. And then you can just unmask it. You can weed out the letters if you wanted. Try not to point you directly at the laser, that way you're not seeing the actual cut. They say you're not supposed to look at the laser anyway. But you could see the other that's cut out already. Now it's going to finish up with the next. And you can see how close they are to each other as far as cutting. You can see really how close it is now between the two. Yeah, this machine here is the Glowforge Pro. This is the first machine that we had bought. Gosh, that's been, we were in the kitchen days. So I think that was back in 2018. Maybe early 2018, somewhere around there. So as you can see, it cut 1, 2, and 3. So all of this space here to the right, I can reuse for other acrylics. So you'll see some of the new stuff that is going to be released that we do we use, depending on the size of the cut, we use all of the scrap, because I mean, I want to utilize all the material that I can before this goes in the trash. So down here you will see that I keep all of the spare cuts until I can utilize every single bit, even down to something like that. So if I can use that, I'm going to utilize it until I can't, and then it goes in the trash. So what we'll do now is take this out and exchange it. So you've got the outside template. So you've got the swirl traditional, the swirl 20 skinny, and the 30 skinny. So this is a bundle, so we're going to have to cut the remaining 2 to fulfill the bundle. So a brand new sheet, put it back into place, make sure everything's aligned, and just to kind of show you what I'm doing. Whenever I do the alignment, I want to make sure that there's even space all the way around your cut area. Because if you go in here and lay the piece of material crooked or shifted, that can alter the way that you're cut. So you've got parameters that go on all sides. So when this camera up top looks down, it communicates with this camera internally. That way the workspace and what's being cut, it cuts where it's supposed to on the material. So hopefully that makes sense. So then you go and you gently close this back down. And what we'll do, I will go in the other room. I'm going to take you with me. That way you can see on screen what I'm looking at. So follow me. So on screen, this is what we're looking at. Yep, give a thumbs up. Thanks, MJ. So we have cut these, so I'm going to remove these out. And then I need to add a new piece to be left. So within the bundle, there are 5 pieces total. So we've got to cut the 12 by 12. And we also have to cut the last remaining piece. So it'll showcase like so. Let me set this stand down so you can see. You don't see my shaky hand. And now you get to see a full screen of what we're looking at. So you notice this one here looks like it has dotted lines, and it's a different color than this piece here. That's because within the workspace on the material, this one can cut. This one here, it's outside of the workspace. So if I moved it in, then it changes colors to let me know that, hey, I can cut because it's within the parameters of that material. So again, to maximize as many cuts that we can, whenever you go to get the material, you'll notice the different costs. Some material costs more than others. And no matter what you're cutting or engraving or creating, you want to make sure that you get as much use out of that material as possible. Because the scraps, that right there could be something that you're not wasting a whole entire sheet just to cut something small. So for instance, this size here would be perfect for our halos. You're not wasting, you're actually using. Also at the same time, straw charms, diamonds. It's not big enough for a V-spot or a corner cutter, but you can utilize that for other things. So if you notice here, all of this is in red, so the lettering I do not want to cut. So I'll go here and change this setting to score, and then change this one to score. And you notice how it turned it purple? That's letting me know that it's going to score that material, not cut through it. And then I just go here at the top right and click print. It'll give me my actual cut time of what the project's going to need. It's auto focusing. So now we will go back. You get to see a full shop review today. And it's positioning. So if you could hear it, it was actually the laser had come to the center point, then went back out. What it's doing, every single cut, it will actually autofocus because it knows that the lid was open, it knows that you exchanged the material, and it's starting back at 0. That way it zeroes out the project and it starts all over again. This light will blink, letting me know it's ready to go. I press that. You'll hear it rev up. That means it's letting the fans get into place and start extracting that smoke that's produced from the laser. Yep, behind the scenes. Good morning, Yvette. So some of you might find this boring, and I get it, but this is part of the business. And to kind of show you some projects that you can do, I've got these letters that are acrylic. Good morning. This is an acrylic letter that I cut out. I haven't weeded the top of it yet, but this is reflective. So it's got that mirror finish where this paper is. So I've got this for a project that I'm going to do, a fancy kind of backdrop for our business. So I've got that out of play. And to kind of show you other things, I saved the letters, and forgive all of my movies. That's my collection that I watch. I like comedy, I like Sopranos, you know that. But some of the letters, some of the circles that we cut out, these are 1-inch circles. You never know when you're gonna need a scrap for something like that. So I never throw that away. So you can also see over here, I've got a collection of some of the inserts, spare notebook pieces that I've cut. So if there are any need for different size circles, hey, just let me know. I can send you a couple. Uncle Quiz, good morning. So once this part is done, that collection for that bundle will be ready for a customer's order. Need some golf, for golf tournament. Hey, let's make it happen, Joy. Just let me know how many that you need. I may already have them for the size that you need. If not, we can custom make them too. I know I keep moving, so let me make this stationary so you can see it. For markers, yep, you certainly can. Uncle Bro. Again, I appreciate you guys coming over. What's up, Russ? Good morning. This is just one of the things that we're going to be doing live because I just got done cleaning the machine. Good maintenance practice. And that completes that set. So what we'll do is back this up. Open the lid. And again, I do not throw away the remaining sheets. So in the acrylic swirl bundle, you have all 5 of your templates. And each one of them is named accordingly. Now what I do is, if you notice when you pull out of the machine these black marks, that is the residue, the soot that is left over from cutting the materials. So before I send it out to a customer, I'll just take a paper towel, or if you have anything like a wet wipe or dude wipe or even a baby wipe, you can take and just dab it to make sure it's kind of wet on the side, and just go on the outer perimeter of the cut. That way it removes that soot, so whenever the customer touches it, they're not getting that all over their hands. Just makes for a cleaner product. Again, one of those behind the scenes things that you see. The inner world of Midlands Vinyl. The boring part. Just attention to detail, that's all. Need to update your YouTube name? Let's make it happen. I do have a shirt that says That Misty, of course. Just not wearing it today. And so now we have a acrylic swirl bundle ready to go. So you can see the wait time of that. Now doing that over and over and over, plus doing other acrylic cuts, things of that sort, it's not a one time and done. You would think, hey, if he can do that in 20 minutes, yes, but you also have to go and factor in what else we're cutting. So having your product close by, making sure that you clean it. So this came straight like this from the factory, with this extra dust and things, particles, shavings. I like to clean that off before I put it into the machine, because whenever the fan is blowing, it blows all of that around, it gets stuck, it can actually catch on fire. So the best idea, best practice, is I keep this little miniature dustpan. I will go and wipe off that residue. That way, before I put it in the machine, it's clean. And I will do both sides to clean that off before I go and place it back into the bed or a crumb tray, and then just set it up for the next cut. Yeah, laser machines, again, when we bought these, this was the very first one, and that was, like I said, 2018. It's got several hundred work hours on it. But if you maintain it and clean it, any machine, whether it's a Glowforge or one of the other types, X-Tool, things like that. Always keep your workstation clean. That way it performs at the best way that it's intended to do. Hopefully it'll last you longer and have no issues as far as what your cut materials would be. I know whenever this machine gets dirty, the cuts, I would have to do multiple passes on the cuts because the material wouldn't cut all the way through, and then I would go and think that it was ready to go pull up that whole sheet, and this would come with it because it didn't cut all the way through the material. And so you trying to place it back into the bed on the crumb tray and try to align it perfectly, no, it won't do that. You could look like on camera that it will be, but in the actual sense, when it goes back to zero out and set back into place to do a second cut, it'll have a line almost close to it and cut over it, and then you've just got a jumbled up mess. The best thing to do is, if you notice that it's not cutting through material, do a test cut first in the far right corner, and then once you know that it's clean, that it made the cut all the way through the material that you're using, because let's face it, the thickness of this material versus the next material that I might use, it might be double the gauge or the mil of what this one is. So noticing and what notice what I'm saying as far as when you're making a cut on a material, whether it be acrylic or wood or even rubber, because you can use these to make stamps. And so the material that you're using, you've got to go into your settings and change that to reflect the type of cut and how deep it's going to cut through the material. Because the thickness of this acrylic is 1/8 of an inch, and this is 1/16. So you can see side by side comparison, there is a difference as far as how thick. This has a little bit of give to it because it's thinner, where this one, it's more brittle and thick. And it was only hanging on by that little piece, so it broke easy. But I saved these little pieces because I could fit something smaller like a keychain in here instead of throwing it away. Uh-oh, Beth's in here. Good morning. But then you also have different color acrylics. This is a black gloss finish. And so some of the tags that we put on our turners, I use that to cut out of here. And on the back side, we place that 3M double-sided adhesive. That way, whenever I peel it off, I can just peel off the backing of this and then stick it straight to the turner. But that one piece right there, I could fit something, another cup tag in there or anything that might be useful. So I really go to the extreme of keeping these small pieces until I just can't use them anymore, and then throw the remaining scraps out. But you also have wood. So I know for our new baby girl that's coming, our granddaughter, Bailey wanted some of the little month like check-ins, like 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, etc. The little ducks. That way, whenever she has the baby, she can do a placement of that, and it'll say 12 months, 6 months, 4 months old with baby Maggie. She wanted me to do some of that. So this has to be masked off with the tape. That way, whenever I go to do the burn, it doesn't leave that residue. I could just peel it off and it'll have a clean finish. But you can see this is a 1/8 of an inch wood that I can use that duck. Plus, after this is done, it could be painted. So that bundle's ready to go, and that'll be set aside for one of the orders that was done this past week. But keeping your machine in check, keeping it clean, that is the best practice. No matter what type of machine that you have, it's always best practice to keep it clean. So now we're going to transfer over to our UVDTF machine. Yesterday I set this into motion to start a brand new project. So what it'll do is roll off of this onto here. This is your capture reel. So after everything's printed, it rolls up instead of just laying on the floor. So this material, you've got two parts. You've got an A and a B. This is the top cover that goes over. And then on the inside, around this roll, the roll that's coming from the back, they kind of connect and merge together. So this is the top fill. That way it seals what the UV product is underneath. On the back side, this roll down here, this is the actual print side. So what it does is it rolls in between there, goes up front, prints, and then this back roll here pulls a piece back. This is scrap. Then you've got all of your colors here, your varnish, white, yellow, magenta, black. This is the indicator for how much fluid or ink is in all of these tanks. And so this roll here, it's heated, so it's hot to touch right now. You don't want to touch it. Hot. Hot. You can open it up, but I always leave it closed. I don't want to touch this paper because it's sticky. When this piece here, it rotates back and forth as it does its passes. This backside is what prints. Good morning. And then this front side is the UV light that passes along, and as it prints, it lays down that clear finish, and that light hits it to cure it. So once it merges through this portion here, it's already cured, and then this top coat goes over and it seals and it heats to combine the two pieces. And then that's the final product. It lands down here on the roll as it collects. So just to show you as an example, this workstation here, let me place this into place. We're doing a lot of movement, as you can tell. So I'm gonna set this into motion. That way you can see. And no, you can't see my password. I just can't share that. All right, so this is the software called HanoSoft. This is the actual printing software, but there is another software that we would actually send the project to, and these are completed from yesterday, so I'm going to remove these old ones before I start. And those are phone covers. And the reason I do this, I don't like to print the same thing twice. So before I start new projects, I will actually go in and remove that. That way I've got a brand new start. Yep, taking you to school, taking you to school. So if I wanted to engage a new project, which I already have some over there, I've got everything saved as far as sheets that I use. I know that I have bee elements and I believe sunflowers. So what I would do is, once a brand new project that has not been converted, this is what converts it. So this is what they call a virtual print before it actually goes to the printer. So what this will do is it'll convert the file and change the file type so the printer will actually read it and understand it. So I would bring that B file, if it were a brand new file that I had never printed, I would convert it, and then once it's done, it'll be done here and transferred down to this bottom space, letting me know that that file was converted. So because I already have converted that, I'm not going to utilize it. So once it's done down here, I would minimize and I would open up the Han So Soft, and I would go here to clean the machine first, because if it's left overnight, the machine stays on 24/7. So you want to make sure that all of the tubes of ink have been cleansed, that they don't have any residue left in them, because when you go to print on the machine, you want that placement of the ink is just like doing a test print. You want to make sure all of your color bands are intact and there are no missing colors or distorted colors. So once that's clean, which you hear that machine in the back, you'll see this little indicator in the far right corner saying that it's clean. When it's doing that, all the options up top, they kind of go to a gray indicator letting you know you cannot do any printing while it's cleaning. So once that's done, these options will then turn white, allowing you to move on to the next step. So you see now they're back to white. So what we're going to do is open up one of the projects that we want to do. So I'll go to Open Files, and because I already have some of those converted files, we're going to open those up and lay them over here to the side. And I believe one was also sunflower, if I'm not mistaken. Sunflower, okay. And what I want to do is I need to change the task setting. I want to make my colors very vibrant. So what I'll do is change that. Click OK. Same thing for the next. If you leave it to one pass of color, what this indicates is how many passes once that machine does. It'll do if you wanted 2 or 1 pass, it'll pass that one time and then move on to the next. So you have a 3-step tier. You've got color, white, and varnish. What this machine will do is it will print the white first, then the color, and last is the varnish. So now that I have those set to the parameters that I need, I would just simply right-click and then print, and you will see an error. I wonder why. What could be wrong? So it will not allow me to print because there is an error. So over here to the far right, you will see this blinking. So we click this and then go to the error message. But let me check something real quick to find out what it is. Come on. Of course it's going to act up. It should have taken me to the error report, but for some reason it's not. So let's do the simple thing. Let's just close it to make sure that there's not another problem. So what I'll do is just once that's closed, I'll just simply open it back up. And if that error message is still there, which it is, then I can go over here to the right and check the log. showing me all of those are clear. All of that looks normal. Those settings look normal. So I'm going to exit one more time. This is just one of those things. Whether the camera's rolling or it's not, if there's some kind of error. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel this out and air it out again. So there has to be an error. So can anyone guess of what it might be? Let's take a guess. Good morning, Dave. Red Rock. I can tell you what it is. Let's look. So let's close this. And let's try it again. Yep. So the error, it's got an error log that tells you what's going on. So I'm going to open it one more time. And now that I have that lid closed, let's see if I can bring a job into play and see what it says. So yeah, every time you bring a job into queue, you got to do the same boring thing. So you see what the error was. So it's going to print now. So the error is because the lid was open. And it won't print this white space. It just lets you know what you're seeing on the screen. This is the indicator of letting you know the process of how far along the job is, the pass, and what the details about the job are as they go. You will notice here the print progress, the DPI of the job, all of the basic necessities, how the print capacity of the machine is running, and the print time. So you'll see the print time change as the job progresses along. Does the file need to be converted? Yes, 100%. So on this other program, this is where you would bring the file into queue and then convert it. Once it's converted, it'll drop down into this gray space, and then it's ready to go. This file is a printable file. This is in the format that we need. This is the last step before it actually prints. The purple space that you're starting to see is letting you know how the progression of that sheet is. So when this whole sheet turns purple, then the job is done. Beth said the sound is going staticky. Can you guys hear me good now? User error. Yep, it's a user error. You can hear me fine? Good. So you can see on the screen how it progresses, and then you take it over here and you see it in motion. So that purple light that you're seeing, that is the UV part. So as it's passing back and forth, left to right, it's curing what's being printed. And back there at the back, you see the white portion. It's printing the white first. Let me see if I can zoom it in a little bit. What's up, WC? So it will print and then go back over it. It'll print white, then the color, and then the resin will go on top, and then it'll get cured. So as it's going, like I said, that bottom sheet, this top sheet combined through this heated roller, combines to one, and then it comes down here, and this roll, you have to make sure this spindle is turned on, because as it moves, this will roll and collect this sheet. So it continuously runs and doesn't drop on the floor and make a mess and cause a bind in the machine. So this works. You also have to have the belt or turner on the back, making sure that it is on. So you'll see there, it's actually collecting that on the back as it goes in. So what do you think? And you can see the vibrant colors coming through because we did 2 color passes. That way, whenever it goes on your tumbler, you get that vibrant color. So you see how it turned out? How long does each print take? So this print here, you've got the B collection. So you'll see right now, we started it just a few minutes ago. So 5 minutes and 22 seconds has gone by so far. So this is about an 18-minute process. Now, every time that you make a change to the settings, so if I wanted to do 2 color passes, 2 white passes, 2 varnish passes, each one of those passes adds more time to the project. But you can see just within a few minutes, it was down here and now it's here. Let me give you a full screen there. Yeah, it's not a fast process by no means. But the quality of the product, that's what we're looking at. We want it to be as vibrant and clear as possible. So again, taking you back to the printer, you can really see it coming to life now. And if you guys didn't see, let's go and take a look at a project that we made yesterday. Just so I can turn a light on for you. Had some of the markets come in. So look at this. These are UVDTFs that go with the new Sponge and Friends sheet. So if you can see these for what they are, and then you were to take one of the UVDTFs, you could place that anywhere on the cup that you want. So these are tumbler wraps that we made that are in a bundle. So you've got Mr. Sponge, and you got his little pink friend, Mr. Pat, or Patrick. And then what do they do together as friends? They go jellyfishing. So you could see the detail right down to the little jellyfish and the bubbles and the under the sea. So in that bundle, these are 20 ounce wraps, tumbler wraps. So you would get in that bundle the jellyfish, you would get Mr. Pat, and Mr. Sponge. All three prints, and you would get one UVDTF for Mr. Sponge and one UVDTF for Mr. Patrick. So all of that comes in a set, which are on the website. They are limited edition. So whenever they're gone, they're gone. We wanted to do some of the special edition stuff, make it limited, and if you guys kind of like these ideas, what we'll do is implement more in the future for different things. So it might not be sponge, it might be another themed idea, but to kind of give you a play on words, picture doing sponge, but also putting a name, or if you wanted to, because you can put them both on the cup together. You could split that down. You can cut that, do a wave, a V-split. You can do anything that you want and have Sponge on one side and Pat on the other. You can get very creative. So necessarily, being able to identify how you want placement on your tumbler. Again, you could put Pat by itself, put a name, whatever design that you feel free. Doesn't have to be on either one of those. You could put them together on the jellyfish. Just the faces if you want. It's really your prerogative of how you see fit to what you can envision on the tumbler wrap itself. But I know that the sponge lovers out there would get a kick out of that, and to be able to see some of that come together. But these, again, they are limited quantity as well as limited time to get those. But the print being that close up to the body of these two kind of gives you an idea of how it would look. And these are only available for the 20 ounce. I didn't do them in the 30. So going back to the other projects, if you didn't know, we also have the baseball stitching. Those are perfect for the baseball tumblers, softball tumblers. So if you had a yellow background, that would be, and this is just an idea, it's not, it's just to show you how it would look against a yellow. So if you're a softball person, we have a yellow softball print, but if you wanted to add that extra dimension and feel to the tumbler, because you can feel the depth because it's raised off of the tumbler. Now naturally when you go to epoxy, that's going to all be void it out because it's not going to matter. But just if you were to put on a tumbler that had no epoxy, you would be able to feel that raised piece as you rub your finger over it. And you're going to need to do that anyway, because when you go to press this down on whatever surface, we recommend that you press every single bit firmly. That way it has good contact with the surface that you're putting it on, and then you peel off that top surface and it stays. But we have other prints that are flowers. We have element sheets. We have a lot to choose from that you can use. So you can use just one of these flowers on a tumbler, a leaf, a branch. Some of the other stuff, we have the Libby wraps. This here is for a special project that's coming up, so stay tuned for that. So the Libby glass wraps, we have those. You can also put that on a tumbler too. It doesn't have to go on a Libby. The holiday themed. Some of the other prints that we have. Mardi Gras. Some of the other element factors. The Coastal Holiday element sheet. These are very pretty butterflies. Of course, the roses. Some wintry themed hot cocoa, s'mores, cookies. This is, I believe this one's called Dusty Rose. A little bit of Western thing going on there. Skulls for the people that love skulls and gothic little elements. And these, all of these are sheets, so you're getting all 9 of the images on one sheet. Here's some more semi-gothic. It's not really gothic, but along the same lines. And then of course the lace. Here's the other lace sheet. These two are different because the patterns are different. The honeycomb and the little drip. So if you struggle with doing the drip at the top or the bottom, that's peel and stick, ready to go. This is one of my favorites, the skulls with the bats. Highland cow, cheetah print, or leopard. That kind of gives you an idea. If you need something custom, we also have custom. Those are on the website. You can do the build a sheet that you can upload the images that you want for us to print. And a build a sheet, I believe, is 20 inches by 11, so it's an 11 by 20. You can add as many of the uploads that you can fit within that parameter for a set price. So taking you back to this, that is the sheet for the B element. And you can see the progression on the screen and then how much time has passed. So 17 minutes, I roughly said what, about 18? So an average time of a sheet like that with that many passes of color, like I said, that's 2 passes of color, 1 white, then that's what your time frame is looking like. If you have any images, I want you to make UVDTF come out. I can send you the folders full that I have. So Lisa, that's going to be a no. I'm just kidding. Yeah, as far as the upload button that we have for the Build-A-Sheet and the cup tags. So if you're looking for tumbler tags to go on the bottom of your tumblers to showcase your branding or care card or anything like that that you want on the bottom, your logo, you also have that option that we can customize and print your cup tags. But just keep in mind, some of these images range as far as 2 to 3 inches, 3.5, things like that. The Dreamer element sheet is sold out. I can add a couple to the website now. 1 second. Thank you, Jesus. I'm taking care of that for you right now, WC. So I'm going to add a few. So there are 3 Dreamer element sheets. If you refresh your page, you should be able to see those now. We got you, we got you. Add more lace. All right, hold on 1 second. I need to add some more of the Inspirational 5. I'm adding the lace. Bear 1 moment. I'm doing that now. You're welcome. We thank you. But anything that you can dream up, give it a shot. We're open to the idea of making custom prints. So if you've got an idea that you don't see on the website and you're like, man, I would love to have that in a UVDTF, let's work together. Let's see what we can do. Good morning, Angela. All right, so the lace listing has been updated. So WC, I added some more of the lace UVDTF element sheets. You don't have to tell me twice. Good deal. I love that. Kelly said, I ordered a sponge bundle and cup tags, but I forgot to do the same thing. Same time. So they're 2 separate orders. No problem. I'll combine them. No problem. No problem. Thank you for your order. Yeah. Kelly just dropped her Sponge 10 affiliate code. So if you're looking on the website, if you're looking at adding something to your cart, make sure that you use those affiliate discount codes. So any other affiliates that are on the live right now, drop your affiliate codes. That way people can see it and save 10% off of their order. You're good to go. Yep, Bella 10. Bella Rain 10, I'm sorry. WC Inks 10. Sponge 10. MJ. That's right. Drop those affiliate codes. And if you guys are in the market, just to show some love, most of the people that are in this live have small businesses also. So every order that you make with a small business, that keeps the doors open for those businesses. It gives them another reason to stay motivated, to showcase new product that they may have. Keep those businesses alive. Let's invest in each other instead of these major corporations that turn out to be that most cases you're just a number to them. You're just an order to them. But a small business, they thrive when you invest. They thrive when you order. They thrive whenever your involvement in their business takes place. So this sheet is almost done, and it goes a little bit past because that last row of bees, it's actually being cured, but it prints a little bit past that because of the actual spreadsheet. So again, it's at the last stage, and we're looking at a print time of almost 25 minutes. So some projects take longer than others, but something like a set of cup tags, that goes by a little bit faster because some of the detail in a cup tag might not be as in depth as this element sheet is. So it just finished, 24 minutes, it went away. So now that it's zeroed out. So what we'll do is start the next project. Sorry about all the movement of the camera. So I know that sunflowers was the next. And we will add in, what else was it? So Lisa's cup tags, you can see here. Lisa's had cup tags, Kelly's got some, Cat Customs has some, of course we've had some. I've done a couple of more businesses, but for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's just not something that people want to do with their branding. It's an easy way to brand, and it's a very creative way for people to see who you are. Like I said, if it's not a branding thing and you just want to do care car, or why do I say that? The tumbler care instructions, you can get creative and do whatever your heart desires as long as it'll fit within that parameter on the bottom of the tumbler. So I added that twice. So trying to think of what else it was that I was supposed to print with that. I'll just start that one, and then I'll look at the spreadsheet of the projects that I have to do. That way I'm not printing something I don't need to print. And then again, ready to print once I have everything set. Let me zoom this out just a hair so you can see the screen. And now what it'll do is it starts the next process. So in just a moment, back there towards the back of the printer, you will see a little bit of the white printing first because it's starting the sunflowers. It takes a minute for you to see anything because it's printing the top portion of the flower. What's up, Caitlin? But then everything will flow together and you'll see it afterwards. So meanwhile, let's go over here and make a project. So as you can see my computer screen here, I've got the orders printed because I know that I have some of the work orders that were printed this morning. I have to make spreadsheets for some of those custom pieces and some of the existing. So as you can see here, I'll adjust this in just a second. And remove that. Let me move this in so you can see. So in this first work order, we've got 4 elements that we need to bring in to make this take place to where we can close this order. So I've got everything on our server. And if you're in the business of making files and doing things, do yourself a favor. Don't put all of your stuff on a computer because a computer will fail, it'll crash, and I would hate for anybody to lose all of the hard work that they've done. So we have a backup server, is 4 terabytes. That way, all of our work that we have is backed up should one of our computers crash. It's always a great idea to have your work backed up. Especially whenever you go to upgrade a computer or get a new computer and you've got files that might be on an old unit. If you've got it on a server or a backup drive, you can easily just transfer that data over without losing it. So we're just going through building the sheet. So I would do the same thing if I were building a UVDTF sheet. If a customer just picked some of the images that we have, I would just come in, and as you can see how big that image is, I have to size it down accordingly. That way it fits within the window of the print area. So once I get it down to the size that I need, I normally go about a 2.5 is the average size. And then I'll place it over here in the corner. And then I'll add in my other images as we go along. And because these are random images, the first 2 are at least, I have to go into different folders and pick those up. And this is Corel Draw, is the program that we're bringing in. And you can see how vibrant and the detail of what's in this image. But that is going to be shrunk down to a decal size. And like I said, the average size that we use is around 3.5 for that. Because if you go any bigger than that, then by the time you put it on the tumbler, it's going to look strange. It's going to overtake the tumbler, and you want to be able to see it. So the average size of that is about a 3.5. And then what we'll do is go and pick up the last 2 remaining pieces to finish this work order out. So anytime that I have 2 that are back to back, so they wanted 4 and 5 together, I'll just click the first, then Control. That way it picks up both images instead of me having to go back into the folder again and it will bring both images in. So I'm gonna back out of this so you can see these images for what they are. And I'll shrink them down. That way it gives me workspace to where I can see and I don't have to constantly adjust the screen. And then I'll place those into play or a rough draft, and then I'll zoom back in and then just adjust them as needed and move them to where it fills up the screen or the print area. And I maximize the print without wasting a whole lot of paper. So that first work order, those 4 images are ready to go. I will take my marker, and as you've received any work order from us, you'll see I make indicators letting me know that I have taken care of all of those images and I can have that work order move on. So the next order that we're going to look at, let me cover up the address, is for a business. It's got 5 sets of custom UVDTF tumbler tags. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize this. I am going to see if I can pull up the order and see if I can hide it real quick so you don't stalk the customer at their address. So I'm going to pull that, and I'm going to hover over where my mouse is so I can look at the file. So they uploaded this file. Now I want you to see for what it is that I'm going to see, this white space that's around it. What you don't want is for this to print on the UV printer and have the white that goes around it. So what I'll have to do is I will remove the white. So we can do it multiple ways, but I'm going to show you an easy way to do it. So what I'm going to do is just make sure everything is there. Then I'm going to save the image. I'll save it to my desktop. And then we can go to Canva. So Canva is a very useful tool. It's $12 a month. We've got the Pro edition. But to do certain things, like when we're building our spreadsheets for how our listings on the website are, you can go in there and just make changes as needed. That way it's an easy, streamlined process, and it's done. So in this case, I'm going to go back to Create a Design at the main page. I'm going to go to Upload, and then I want to upload that file that we just saved. So you'll see it there. I want to edit this image because I want to extract this image out and take that white off. So I'm going to go over here to the far right, and it has an option for background remover. And so now this is transparent and takes all of that white out of place. And don't worry about the lettering, because this image, remember, when we send it to the printer, it's going to print the white first. So that right there, that fill in, that's going to be white. So you don't have to worry about that. Now I just go to Save. And then I want to save this image. I'll save it on the desktop. Then I'll minimize and then pull back up Corel and go to the project that we were just at. And because I've got all of this open space, I'm going to just make one sheet. That way I can print. Because I never know if that customer is going to need some in the future, or if not. I could add them to this sheet and it could be a one and done type of work order, or do the responsible thing. Go over here. This is a project from yesterday. Make sure that I change the page settings, because this was actually for our rolling printers. Going to change the paper settings to reflect what the UV printer will take. So in this case, the UV is 11-inch workspace for our sheet. So if I want to do a future way of thinking to use that logo and that cup tag, I need to make a file. That way, if I go ahead and produce that one sheet, I'm not having to build it over and over and over again. I could just pull from that sheet and just print. So again, it's forward thinking. You could always say, yeah, that could be a one and done, never see that customer again, but always invest in yourself, save yourself the time, and save that file. That way, if the customer orders again, that same exact image, you don't have to go through the design process, the building of the sheet process. You just open the file on the printer and hit print, and away you go. Yeah, Canva is very useful. So I saved it on the desktop, so I'll go back to the desktop. And the image that I saved is there. And now what we need to do is size it, because it's fairly big in size right now. So what I want to do is I want to shrink this down, and it has to be, in order to fit the bottom of the tumbler, I would say at a safe size that works for us, anything 2 inches and below. You don't want to make it too small, because then you're not going to be able to see what it says. So anywhere within 1.8 is a perfect size, as long as it's less than 2 inches. Because if you go 2 inches, you're like really maximizing the bottom of the cup, and you actually might extend that circle indentation, and then it's going to look off. So you want it to fit perfect at the bottom of the tumbler. So what I'll do is I'll bring that image into the corner space, then just replicate that image over and over. So how many I can fit. That way they're not right up on top of each other. So each set of tumbler tags that you order, it's 10 that come in a set. So the customer ordered 5, so I need 50 of these in total. So again, I'll just replicate that. So if I can at least get 5 across, then that means I need 10 rows. And just to make sure that I don't make any mistakes, I'll move that. If it moves and there's not a duplicate, then I'm solid. And the reason that you do that is sometimes you make a copy of a copy and you don't realize that there's a one that didn't capture or didn't move, and it'll print over itself, and the image will look distorted because it printed twice over itself. So as I build my 10, now I just capture all, copy all, and then just drop this down and do it all over again. That way I've got a whole sheet that I'm producing all at once. So as long as I have 10 rows, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8, so I need 2 more. So I'll just go back up top, capture these 2 rows, copy, and paste, and then bring those down to give me my 10 rows. So now if I look, I've got all of this open spot or space. I need to shrink that down. So what I'll do is Control A. It'll capture all, and it'll tell me over here in the top right or top left how much space this is. So I change my page diameter. Right now it's at 27.3. I will go down to something safe that's 22.1 and then enter. You see how it moved everything up? So now I just capture all. And what I want to do is move this within the workspace window of that page. You'll notice all of these black dots, they're within inside this parameter of my workspace or my print space. Once I have everything set to where I want it to be on the sheet, that's exactly how the sheet's going to print. So then I just go up here and I want to save this. Right now it's in the Corel Draw format. I want to change that to a PDF and then change to Gen Cup Tags. And it's going to automatically save to our server. Another screen's going to come up, just making sure all the parameters of the setting where you want it to save is exactly what you need it to be. Click OK. That part's done. So that work order, I will have like so and mark through and put it to the side as it's ready to go. So that pretty much is an all-day event of just working through, because whenever you set these spreadsheets up as a brand new spreadsheet, that is just one order. But if it's something that we've already printed, then it's already saved over there, and I just bring it up over there. Just like the bee, just like the sunflower, the lace, everything that I've already set up to print, I just utilize it on the other computer and just pull it from the server. But if we're doing something custom, just like we did for these cup tags, then we have to build that spreadsheet from scratch and then send it over to that other printer. So let's move over there. You'll be able to see it for what it is, because now in the DigiRip format, we'll go to the server and you can see option 1 there. We'll bring that file in. Takes a minute for it to process. It'll bring in, and then the first thing we want to do is align it. That way on the sheet it centers itself. So we click the file. We want to center, and then we click print. That progress will turn green, and then what you'll see is there's a progression bar. That'll do its print, but it's not actually printing on the machine. It's doing a virtual print because it's converting the file to the format that I need it to be. In just a second, you'll see a save option come up, and where I want to save that new file. So now it's going to be a PDF. So I'm going to save it on the desktop, click save. Then it's showing a progression of it actually printing, but it's not technically printing. It's just finishing out the format that it's changing to. So once that is complete, you'll see that drop down here in just a moment to that space there. What size should I do for a UVDTF? So what type of image are you referring to, Lisa? For a cup tag or for a decal? What image are you wanting to do? So you see it drop down here to the bottom. I will minimize this, and then whenever this is done, then we'll bring in that new image that we just made. So an average of 21 minutes. It's almost done, so this is probably going to be, when it's all said and done, a 25-minute project. But just to show you what it looks like. Again, you can see how vibrant the colors are. And then when you come down below, you can see your bees and the detail that's in those. And if you're wondering about what the machine is, it's an Aries 113 DTF station. This machine is a $17,000 paperweight. So if you're in the market of getting one, just think about, is it going to serve the purpose? If it's just printing decals for yourself and not as a business, don't do it. I can promise you, unless you've just got disposable income that you could just throw it at anything that you want, then go for it. But if you're doing it just to print decals for yourself, this machine takes a lot of money to operate as far as cost per month. And if it's not running, then it's not making money. Each one of these colors, as far as the inks, depending on where you purchase them from, but because this machine is less than a year old, it's still under warranty. These have to be purchased directly from the manufacturer, because if not, it voids out the warranty. So these average, depending on where you get them, $80 per color. When you get to white, black, and things like that, again, those should be around the same price. But the varnish, that's $100 right there. So that baby right there is $100. And you've got to fill these up every single week. So think about, if you do a lot of printing, then you're going to need some of these on hand as a backup. A roll of A and a roll of B film, that's a few $100s right there. So again, as far as the cost of operation, make sure you've got what you need as far as clientele, because if not, this is a very costly machine to operate on a monthly basis. But again, if you've got 17 grand, go for it. If you got 17 grand that you can invest and just have as a hobby, go for it. So I'll let this next project start in just a moment, and then you guys can see that process. And if you want to see something else, if you want to see some of the vinyl print, we can do that. Just give me some comments of what you would like to see in the comment section. We'll move on to the next process. As far as a decal, Lisa, you would do an average of a 3.5. But whatever image that you send over, you don't want it to be like a 15 by 15 image, because I would have to shrink it down anyway. But what we define and what type of file, it says it in the description listing on our website. That way it makes it easier for the customer to know what we're looking for. Amy, you got some kind of bug going on? Vinyl printing. So you want to see some vinyl? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll set this up to do some vinyl. Oh, that type of bug. Yeah, keep that at your house. Yeah, nobody needs that. So you're about to see the sponge bundle that's about to print because that was ordered yesterday. So I'm going to start printing on that, and I'll set the other printer above. That way you would be able to see what's coming. So both of the printers, the one up here and this one, you'll start to see printing in just a moment. So what it's going to do is go through a cleaning process real quick. Just like all the printers that we have, they clean themselves, they stay plugged in 24/7, and they're on 24/7. So they have ink that runs through the lines to cleanse itself every few minutes. At least every 30 minutes you'll hear the machine go off and do a clean cycle. Which would be the best company for a logo or vinyl? So Angela, we print our own vinyl, and we also design logos. So if it's something that you're interested in, just send us an email at midlandsvinylsc@gmail.com. Maybe we can assist you. Lisa, that's 3.5 for decals. 3.5 is what the decal is going to print. Got to plug this phone up before the battery dies. Gonna start on this cup tag project. So I'm over here at the other printer. Lisa, I'm sorry you can't read the directions. I'm sorry. Yeah, Angela, if you go to our website, if there is something that you see already, we can print that. But if you want to do cup tags, if you need us to build a logo, we are very flexible and we would coordinate what works best for you. So whenever this goes and starts to print, that shocked me, I just had electric charge. When this goes to print, you'll see it drop down in just a moment. And then also the one above it, you'll see the paper hang as it's printing. I got a bunch of stuff that I have to print for Beth for the pre-cut templates. Any minute now, you'll see this start to print. Thank you, Angela. That's a good point, Kelly. UVDTF, what that other machine, that Aries 113, that is a permanent image. So whatever you were to put on the surface, whether it be a glass, whether it be a window, whether it be a soccer ball, UVDTF prints are different than what this is. This is printable vinyl. This you can lay on a cup, and if you need to reposition it, you can pull it up and reapply it. That over there, the UV, that's a one and done. Once you place it, it's over. You place it and it's there to stay. Sorry it's taking so long. Normally it's, oh, there you go. It's doing the initial setup and now it's starting to print. There we go. Do you guys have any questions of the things we've covered so far, other than Lisa? You don't have the patience for it? Well, Lisa, I can promise you, once you start working for yourself versus having a corporate job or a 9 to 5 that you've got to be at the beck and call of somebody else and their demands, you kind of learn to live with it, kind of learn to love it versus the alternative. And the website just says maximum sheet 11 by 20. It does not specify. So Lisa, on the builder sheet, depending on the image that you input, it doesn't have to be a 3.5. If it needs to be smaller, let's say it was just a cup tag size, you can fit more than 10, more than 15, more than 20, because the size parameters are smaller to fit within that window. If you needed the image to be a 5 by 5, it's whatever you can fit within that 11 by 20 window for that price. I think Lisa's on one today. Yeah, the corporate world is not something that I want to get back into. So if God says that I'm done doing this, then I'll accept it and go, but it's not something that I willingly would like to do. First sheet that you're about to see is the sponge jellyfish, and once that comes out, then you'll see the rest just follow afterwards. I'm just over here setting up the printer to print after these get set up. That way it's a continuous thing. So I see some of the people dropped out. They must have got bored. I'm telling you, this life over here on this side is not as glamorous as over there with Beth. I'm here. Well, thank you for sticking around. If you get enjoyment from watching that, hey, this might be your scene. Today, I don't know if Beth is going to be going live at all. I know she's working on the new vinyl drop. So I believe she's going to be working behind the scenes. Lisa, I don't blame you. As many images that you can fit on the sheet, go for it. Thank you, Angela. How do you find the time? Seems like a lot of work. I treat it just like a 9-to-5 job, but for us, it's not really a 9-to-5. It extends past that. We've been down here since 5:30, so we started at 5:30, and we might end at 5:30, 6 tonight. I know that yesterday was a long day for us, so today needs to be even longer to compensate for some of the time that we had missing from yesterday's work time. I could say this to anybody that owns and operates their own business. If you don't treat it like it needs to be treated and take it serious and put in the devotion and the time, then what do you expect for it to do for you in return? If you don't treat it like it should be, and you neglect it, then if it fails or it suffers, the only person to look back at would be yourself. I know, speaking with Red Rock, her and I were immediately on the same page. I think we had a conversation. It was probably 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and she's still fulfilling orders. We just got done, and we were sitting there eating dinner. And so she's still working when we were eating dinner, and that was at night. And I know she lives out west, so there is a time difference. But just talking with Red Rock, I know that hustle mentality, that's another reason why we get along so well, because getting and surrounding yourself with people that have the same mindset as you, and they think like you, they work like you, they hustle like you, those are the people I want to surround myself with. Well, Sunny Moon, there are plenty of people in here that have started small businesses. So this community that we have built and become a part of, I can promise you there are many people in here that have started out, that have now successfully had a year, 2 year, 3 years, 4 years under their belt of experience. So there's a lot of knowledge that's in this live right now that could definitely, you reach out, connect, and they could possibly help you in an area that you might need answers. Good morning. Thank you, Deanna, for dropping in. So if you're owning and operating a business and you're the only person doing it, take stock in that. If you're not doing the work, who's going to do it for you? If you're not fulfilling orders, who's going to fulfill the order for you? Now, if it's a drop ship thing, if that's the type of business that you do and you're just basically putting the business on cruise control, hey, more power to you. But if it's a physical item that needs to be printed, made, packaged, dropped off at the postal service or UPS or FedEx, that takes physical labor to get done. Good morning, Shannon. Deanna, good morning. Uncle Quiz. Hello, Miss Gia. So you can see this coming to life now. And then after that, I believe it's sponge, and then after that is pat. And after these are printing, then you'll start to see some of the other images that I'm printing for Beth that have to pertain to the tumbler wraps that she's doing for the template tumblers. So if this is not your speed, I printed this first because it was first in queue for the work order that we received. So I keep things in order of what I need to do. That way I don't get lost in the mix. But this printer, it's a Roland BN20. You could actually have a roll that's 20 inches long. This roll here we've had cut down to a 13.39. That way, because we only utilize 20 by 20 sheets, or I'm sorry, 12 by 12 for our typical prints. So all of that would be wasted. So if you can take and order a 60-inch roll, have that cut down, or even a 30-inch roll, cut that down, and then you've got 15 from side to side. You can get 2 vinyl rolls out of that one long roll. But this, in short, can print wider, but for what we utilize, we only utilize a certain portion of it. But if I needed to change this roll and print something bigger, I just take that roll out and put a bigger roll in, and then just start the print process. Where do we get them cut? We use a company called Sign Outlet. That's up north. I believe they're in Chicago, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So Sign Outlet, they have anything from printable vinyl to ink. They do more than just rolling. They do other printers as well. They do different materials also. A lot of stuff to choose from. But Sign Outlet Store is the name of the business. Yep, they do cut the rolls. They sometimes charge a fee depending on who you are, but because we've been business partners for so long, they waive that fee because we order so much. But normally I think the fee would be $4 to cut it. You could cut it yourself. I've cut it myself. But it's just more convenient if you could pull the roll out and just put it in the machine and keep on with the process. So do you guys want to keep going? Just let it print? Or we can end the live and I can get back to it and you can have your day back, let me know. I'll tell you what I can do, since we are live at the moment. How about we run a flash sale? How does that sound? This is a Roland BN20. They've actually got some newer models. We've had this for probably 5 years now. Keep going. The boss has spoken. All right, I just set it into motion. Save 18% site-wide right now, whether you're in the market for vinyl, UVDTFs, acrylic, cup turners, hammocks, everything site-wide, automatic code. It ends at 12 p.m. today. And today's date, if you're watching this live and you're watching the replay later on, today is March 4th, 2025. So the sale starts now and ends at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The website to order is midlandsvinyl.com. The boss wins, yes. She wins every time. Yep, the sponge bundle that you see printing right now, you can get that bundle too. Like I said, it's limited edition. Once the quantities are gone, they're gone. They won't be added back. What's not bothering you? Somebody bothering you, Lisa? Thank you, Amy. Do these have to dry? Technically they're dry to touch now, but I give them at least 30 minutes before I do anything with them. So whenever they get a certain length, I'll cut and then put them at a drying section, because technically they can be touched, they're dry to the touch, but as far as putting epoxy or something over them, I just let them dry for at least 30 minutes to an hour before I do anything beyond that. Yep, I have to go and cut them too, because in between each one of these prints, that is one section. So I'll go and cut and trim off the excess and then stack them and then put them with the corresponding orders they go with. So the next set of prints that's coming up after this, you'll really enjoy those. We appreciate that, Shannon. Just let us know how we can help. I know that we offer anything from a single turner right on up to an 8-cup turner. So if you need something to get you started, a single turner, which we call the mini, that would probably suit well for you. We also have those in traditional legacy or magnetic. But you let us know, we will be happy to explain whatever might suit your business needs. That's right, MJ. It's not a quick process, because imagine if you had an order with 50 prints. An average print time is 18 minutes per sheet. So 18 times 50, that could take an all-day project. Even though we've got multiple machines, but you can't just do one work order at a time. You've got to have all of these machines running to operate, plus the other components, if it's an acrylic or a turner, or all of these different moving parts to come together to make one work order. It is not a fast turnaround. We take our time with making sure that the product is the best, highest quality, and to make sure that everything goes out together. So if you've got other components other than vinyl, whether it be a tumbler, whether it be a striper, a hammock, cup turner, whatever it may be, all of these things have to line up. That way all of the product goes out at once. That way you're only paying shipping one time. Lisa, I'm not sure of what you're saying. Is somebody bothering you? One drying station? You mean for tumblers? Yeah. So yes, we only offer that one. So it's just a standard type. It holds 6 tumblers at one time. MJ, if you need to take a nap, go take one. Some people say watching this is peaceful. It is kind of like watching paint dry though, but at least it's moving. How much is the drying station, Shannon? Is that what you're asking about? It's 26 plus the shipping. Yep. All of the prices are on our website. So if you got any questions, anything that you see, all the pricing is available there. midlandsvinyl.com. And guys, today, if you would consider, if you're brand new to the channel, again, this is just, it's not an ordinary live, it's just kind of showing you behind the scenes of what we do. We have a back catalog of videos that you can go and look at that you can see tumblers being made or worked on, or templates being designed. We've got a whole lot of different video content that you can go back and review and look over. If you would consider subscribing and liking the videos, commenting on the videos, it definitely helps out the channel. Good morning, Bravo! Bravo, we're just giving a behind the scenes of what Chris does over here on the other side of the business, that's all. Good morning, Teresa. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah, Beth does an amazing job doing the roulette cups. She's 100% the best artist that I know, and I'm very proud of her and what she's accomplished. Betty Street, good morning. But also in this live, Bravo, Lisa, there are many people. Red Rock, go and check these ladies out because they are mad talented as well. Lisa always says no, but you see her work and you'll change your mind. Don't take her word for it. So in just a second, you'll see right here, this print's about to drop, and then you'll see both, because the top printer is printing right now. And be sure to take advantage of that sale today. It ends at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Save 18%. Automatic code. And get yourself some of this vinyl. Get yourself a cup turner. Get yourself a drying station. Whatever your heart desires. If you're in the market for tumbler tags, it'd be a great chance to get you some of those as well. Lisa, do you go in today at 11 or are you off today? So Beth has a telehealth for her and Jess. That's another reason why she's not going to be on live today. So if you're trying to reach her, text her, and she might not get back to you immediately, that's going to be why. All right, that's about to finish, and it's going to process the next print. And what I'll do is cut this off. And you got to be quick, because if not, it'll roll back up in there. So as you can see, all 3 sheets. And then I also have the UV prints to match to make the set. And while that's doing that, I'll take you back over here so you guys can see those tumbler tags that we did and how they turned out. So you can see them there. Those are pretty. I'm going to show you what's up top. Now that is for the tumbler set, the tumbler templates that Beth is doing. And that was for some kind of order that she had going on. And then below, you'll see that new print that's coming through. Kelly, it'd be a perfect time to do it during the sale. Go in at 11. Do we have any baseball fans out there? We also have softball too, so if you are a softball mom, we've got those with the softball colors as well. But anything that you can dream up, we can print. Just keep that in mind. So if there's something unique, I know that I designed a volleyball format from custom with the colors of the customer's school team, their multiple versions of their jerseys, because some teams have two jersey colors when they're away and at home. We printed two different versions of the volleyball team custom to their school colors. Baseball and basketball. Yeah, so if you need some baseball, basketball, football, hockey, it doesn't matter to us. If you don't see it on the website, we can design it and make it for you. So it'll be custom to whatever it is that you need. So the print that you're about to see now is what we call BR Sun 4. There are quite a few prints that look like this but have different flower arrangements. But this is a very popular, I've probably printed 500 of these since we released it. If we have a design that we already purchased, could we send it to you to print out? Yeah, you sure can. Laura, you would have to just email it and attach the image to the email and let us know if you want it in a 12 by 12 or if you need it in a wrap for a 20 ounce or a 30 ounce. We would just need the format of what size you need it to be. Yeah, PNG works fine for us. I just put the email address for you to send it to. You're welcome. Have to go and check this other machine real quick. Sorry it's so quiet. This is the way it normally is unless I have music or the TV going. Normally I'm listening to a podcast. So do you guys have any questions for me? Isn't that pretty? Those colors are vibrant. It doesn't do it justice unless you see it in person. It really, really is vibrant. And you'll see the tooled leather, it's about to come in the frame, so you can see that also. Now for the tooled leather, we have several designs. It's got some elements of teal and the brown leathered look. But this is number one. There's probably at least 10 or more different elements within that sheet or variety. Thank you, Shannon. We appreciate you coming in to the live today. Again, normally Beth is doing tumblers real time. This is just showing the opposite side of the business. That way you guys could see what is working in the background. Have a great day. All right, everybody, I think I'm gonna call it a day as far as the live. Just show you around, let you see one more time in person, up and close, what we're printing. A lot of these are gonna be repeated because the amount of tumblers that have to be done, it's using the same print because those are for the tumbler template options that we have that Beth is working on now. And just to kind of follow back up full circle, those are the images that we built that sheet about 20 minutes ago. And these are the tumbler tags, the custom tumbler tags for that order that we had. And then I am about to send some more information over to the laser machine. And as you can see, this is a project that we've got going so far. This is an all-day process, so we appreciate what you have as far as your time. We've got custom, even stuff that goes on the wall. This is one of my favorite games of all time, one of my favorite cartoons of all time. So anything that you can think of, we do custom decals, stickers, branding. Just think about branding. So if you've got a fat head image, that's what they call them. I think the company that used to make those, I have these all over my building because, I mean, when I'm working, I want to be inspired. We've also done things with other businesses. So that's a business logo. WC Inks, where we at? So you can see all of my figures that I have. I'm a collector. Yep. I'm just a big kid, that's all. Some that I got for Christmas from my nephew. I'm a Ninja Turtle fan. What can I say? I'm a geek, a nerd, whatever. That was left over from a custom print that we did for a wall sign. I didn't want to throw it away. And again, of course, our logo. That's the OG logo. We did that, gosh, 5 years ago. So it's got a lot of use. But we appreciate your time. We appreciate you guys coming in and spending time with us. We will be live later on this week. I have a tumbler that I have to do live. We're going to be doing the trippy tumbler. So be sure to drop by and see that live. See how it turns out of Chris doing a tumbler real time. You love those curtains? Those are Beth Originals. This building used to be Beth's, and these are the original curtains that she had in here. I didn't pull them down. So, but thank you for spending time with us. We appreciate you. If you have any questions, send us an email at midlandsvinyl.com. If you've got a custom print that you would like to see, maybe we can collaborate and make something happen. We appreciate you again. Stay safe. See you soon.